Okay, very
I'm
good.
still coughing.
So, since it's been 2 weeks, I thought we might want to start with a little refresher about what we had so far. What have we established about this character already? Just in a few sentences, doesn't have to be long. Let's start with Bex, since you're the one that's on my screen right now.
Cool.
Face,
I'm
so.
gonna play Clarissa King, who is a massive bitch, business marketing lady. La Sombra had a bad time before actually being initiated into La Sombra, lost everything, looks after her elderly and I think quite like dementia, like not quite all there given the trauma of the business takeover. Father, who's come over with her to San Francisco, has no idea that she is a vampire. And Alice, what was her name? Lily.
I think.
Lily, my assistant, who basically does absolutely everything because I can't be put on camera. I want power, and I'm going to use whoever I need to get it, apparently.
There you go.
The perfect candidate for a coterie.
Exactly. You're all just means to an end. Speaking of which, James.
Hello.
Can you give me a little reminder about Ramirez?
Yes, Ramirez is an older-looking gentleman, glasses, greying hair, a slightly older voice, I'm guessing at some point, but I'll figure that out in a bit on that one. He is, he has obviously been awake for a little bit, we think, but we'll figure out. But he's had some issues with his shop and a few other things. And he is trying to regain his collection of art that's gone missing. Is going to be his main thing. He has a couple of people around him. He has Arnold, the guy that looks after his shop.
Oh.
We had to go with that name, Drew. We had to. It had to be done.
Why do you torture me so?
Because it's fun, Drew.
It is fun. It is fun. Sorry.
To have this guy in there on that one, and then his last living relative, Karina, who is a younger delinquent who I'm sure causes all manner of trouble and anarchy that he's going to have to now deal with now that he is awake again. But I've got a feeling we're going to be figuring out a few things about how this lot come together and how long he's actually been awake is probably coming shortly. If I'm right with this thing.
Okay. So that leaves us with Drew. Tell us a little bit about Cole.
So Cole is, or was, a detective way back in the 1920s for the San Francisco Police Department. Dealt with a lot of the weirder cases. This attracted some kindred attention. And instead of killing him, they just embraced him. Didn't have the greatest talent for blood sorcery, but was still an expert investigator. So over the last century or so, he's been working for the Camarilla and the Chancery to essentially find out everyone's secrets. If you have one, he probably knows it. So yeah,
Fair enough.
that is Cole in a nutshell.
Okay, then from there on out, I think we can kind of go on to the next bit, which is something that we skipped last time, actually. Has anyone had a chance to look at their disciplines, their powers that they have as their vampire? Did anyone look at this?
No.
Not, and I am sorry.
Okay.
Paying them all now.
No worries. It requires a little bit of reading, so it might take a while, but it's if you have a chance, you know the discipline that you have, so you can look on the drive and find the required powers there. If there's any questions, or if there's any fun things that you had in mind with some of these powers, just say it, talk it out. It might be a little bit more fun for the recording and for me and Drew, who are finished.
We're apparently done on that front.
If you are struggling, I did post that very helpful guide of cats and what disciplines they are.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I mean that is the answer.
Very helpful.
So I'm writing the amount of disciplines I have then, Seb, as a start point. So I have Animalism, Dominate, and Protean. Is that correct?
Protean, yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
cool. So
You
at least
you might have an additional one from your predator type.
from my predator type. Predator type was business owner. Is that right?
Yeah, I think you added another dot in Dominate, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So I think at the moment you have 3 in Dominate, 1 in Animalism, 1 in Protean.
No, it's 2 and 2 in Protean and Dominate, and 1 in Animalism, as far as I can tell. But yeah, as long as that sounds about the right number, though.
That's also it should be 5.
Nice. Okay, so that's at least I didn't completely screw up before I got to those points.
I've got 3 in Dominate and 1 in Potence and 1 in Oblivion.
Then it might be you that I remembered that with the 3 in Dominate. Because I've gone over your sheets to just like kind of count the dots to see if
they make
good
sense.
Yeah,
good
idea.
That's a good idea. And should we have health and willpower bars at this point? Should they be full, Seb, or worked out, or is that correct that I've got nothing and nothing?
Full if it's just if the boxes are empty. If they're filled, then that means you have damage. So if you just have the right number of boxes there, then that's completely okay. They don't need to be filled at all.
Okay, I've got lots of stuff going on in humanity for some reason.
Yeah,
but
that's okay. That can be full. That's an exception.
That's an exception. Okay, but health and willpower, I've got 4 and 5. Okay, of those two, but empty. Okay, cool. So that sounds like that might be in the battle.
7 in humanity. 7 red boxes.
Yes, I do indeed. Yeah. Okie dokie, so that is good. Right, okay.
So while the rest are reading, maybe Drew, you can maybe go out over the powers that you picked.
Sure. So at this point in time, before spending any XP, I have 2 dots in Auspex, 1 in Dominate, 1 in Obfuscate, and 1 in Blood Sorcery. So for my dominant power, Auspex, the 2 powers I've picked are Heightened Senses, which is I can sharpen my senses to a supernatural degree. I can see in pitch black, hear ultrasonic frequencies, and even smell things like fear.
Can you see in pitch black? Is that a thing?
I have to turn it on.
Okay.
It's not a permanent thing. And then
you're right.
My second power in Auspex, I have gone for Unerring Pursuit, which I thought was the greatest of Stalkerish powers. So it's an amalgam, so I need 1 dot in Dominate, which I do have. So I can lock eyes with someone just for a moment, and I can coax this supernatural bond between myself and them. So for a number of nights, I can see this user, this other person, through glimpses of surfaces that are reflecting them. So if they walk in front of a mirror, I can see through that mirror and see them. However, they will be able to see me, which is wonderfully creepy. But I thought it'd be great for someone whose job is literally tracking people down.
It is. It's a little bit Hunter's Mark, but a little bit gold.
Yeah, but it's like any reflective surface. So if they go near the water or like they pass a shop window, I can just spot them. It's great. What did I go for dominate? Dominate, I went with Cloud Memory. So I can essentially make the last few minutes a little bit fuzzy in someone's mind, or I can make them forget a short memory entirely. Not quite.
I think Drew's internet just got out.
Yeah, he's just,
Oh,
he's
no,
just
look
gone
at
in the
that point
moment
as
on
well.
that front.
Bless it.
While we're waiting on him, Seb, for a moment, I pick one skill per discipline. Is that the way it works, or
So per dot, you pick 1 power.
that's it? Okay,
So,
so I could
for
have like
level
Per dot.
I could have Cloud Memory and Compel if I wanted to, or if as two for Dominating as a makes sense.
Or you can have Cloud Memory and Mesmerize, because like for your first dot you need a first level power. For your second level dot you can choose between first level power and second level
That's
power.
what I was missing. Okay,
Okay,
that's
cool.
the bit I'm
Cool.
missing. Okay.
The level of the dots and below. Sorry, Drew, you cut out there. So James
Hey.
asked a question. I am
I
very
apologize. My
Not a-
internet is being a pain.
That's what happens
It
when you live in
happens, it
Willesden.
Yes. So my dominate power was Cloud Memory. Obfuscate I get from my predator type. I went with Cloak of Shadows, so I can essentially make myself unseen as long as I remain still. So if I am...
And as long as nobody's observing you when you disappear.
Yeah, so I can essentially hide in a bush and be completely invisible. Which is great.
Pretty good.
Blood Sorcery. I went for... I'm actually not much of a fan of the first level Blood Sorcery.
Well, blood sorcery,
Powers.
the interesting things come with the rituals, right?
Yeah.
The powers itself are. I mean,
A little
it's
bit
some,
meh. Yeah. But I went for... I went for something. Taste of Blood. So I can, just by tasting a single drop of someone's blood, I can discern a certain amount of characteristics that person has. So like resonance if they're human, or I can identify if they're a ghoul or a fellow kindred or any other supernatural creature. I think with a certain amount, it varies on how many successes I get with the roll. I can get additional information like their generation or maybe even their clan. So that's what I took for my level 1 blood sorcery power, and my ritual I took Clinging of the Insect. So with this ritual, it's you have like a small vial of your blood, and you mix it with a crushed spider. And then
Nice.
you drink it, and then you can stick to surfaces like an
so-
insect can. So you can climb up walls and do all kinds of creepy-esque exorcist
That is quite cool.
kind of things.
Yeah, it's spider climb D&D basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
that is what I've gone for so far.
Dominate ones. Just need to write them down, otherwise I'll forget completely. I'm gonna take
I'm
Compel.
doing the same at this point. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Compel. That seems right. Sounds right. And I think and then I'm gonna go Mesmerize. And then I get a third one as well on this, because that's what I've...
Damn, you can get third level something. Damn.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
go up to third level.
You're gonna be
that's
gonna
what I've
be-
decided.
You can go even higher if you buy it with XP later, but
Yeah, and I might. I don't... Forgetful Mind and Submerged Directive are both so cool, Submerge directive's really cool. Like that, I would be able to. So when you use mesmerize, you can add like a post-hypnotic suggestion. So I can say, when you see this person, tell them this, and they'll have to do it. That's quite cool. That feels like it's going to be useful. But the forgetful mind, I think, would work really well thematically, because I could do it with her father.
Oh, yes.
You need to have cloud memory beforehand.
No prerequisite on that one.
Oh.
You have to have mesmerize for submerge directive, but I have thought that one on there. And I'm going to come back to that one. I'll look at the other two. It's easier because I have to look at level ones.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm looking at animalism. I'm looking at sense of the beast, which seems like, that'll at least do something on that front. That'll be semi-useful on that one. But then I've got mesmerize and cloud memory for dominate, and I went protean. I was looking at weight of the feather and body of mist. So at the moment, but it's hard to say for certain what's the best choices, but.
So
they
body
look
of
more...
mist, like it's not like you don't get like a mist form, but like it's basically the Terminator 2, him walking through the prison bars.
Yeah.
Like it's basically that your body like kind of mists around these things that you can like walk through surface that we got around.
Yeah, I thought maybe like, being see that might be kind of in the right ballpark. And then weight of the feather, yeah, just if he gets thrown around, at least he might survive it. So that must really on that front, he's got a chance. And then just memory stuff is no surprise with dominate stuff. So hopefully,
so if you do it, you know how to create powers and how to like copy paste it in.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't want to go shadow. I think we go Shadow Cloak or Oblivion Sight. So for Oblivion, Shadow Cloak, I can mask appearance or seem more sinister and threatening. Or Oblivion Sight, I close my eyes, and when I open them, I can see clearly in pitch darkness and can perceive ghosts who are not actively hiding. It's quite cool.
Also kind of terrifying. So I think your eyes go black.
Yeah, they do. They go black, yeah.
Damn.
And it's seeing ghosts. That's,
yeah.
You
I can open a whole bag of worms.
Hey, that worked. Great.
I think we can go Shadow Cloak. That feels like it'll be easier to use.
Okay. With Oblivion, you also get like a free Oblivion ceremony per bot. And I think for the Shadow Cloak one, I think there's only one in the document at the moment. Let me double check.
Okay.
So that should be easy, and it's Watcher Shade.
It's what, sorry?
It's called Watcher's Shade, but you can find it in the Oblivion ceremonies on the drive.
I've written down double codes. Good.
And it's basically you can become one with a shadow if you take a little bit of time.
That doesn't sound cool at all.
In a way,
it sounds awesome. Damn it.
In a way,
no, in a good way.
To what Drew can do with like, how's the power called again?
Clinging over the insect.
No, the obfuscate power.
Oh, Cloak of Shadows.
Yeah, it's similar to that, but like he can do it faster because ceremonies take a little bit of time.
You have to perform some sort of ritual kind of thing, is it? Like ritual casting then, is it?
Yeah, I think it gives you like a description of exactly what you have to do. Like for the clinging of the insect, for example, you actually have to have like a bit of your blood and spider and crush it in and say some magic words and then drink it, and then you can do the thing.
Fun.
Yeah, but every time we go anywhere. Hold up.
Yeah.
Gotta find a spider.
Yeah,
Gotta find a spider.
Oh no.
Just give me a moment. I've got to find it.
I mean, you can keep one like bottled up or something. That's
Yeah, I was
like,
thinking about precasting a ritual beforehand and just
Just
carrying that
eating
bottle around.
spiders. Gross.
it's something you can do. But
Okay, I have to make a decision. Third level one.
so James, it seems like you have picked what you wanted, right?
I think so. I'm just making sure that they're all copied in. I've got one more to go, and then hopefully I've got them. They look like the most interesting ones I could see at the time. So, these levels anyway. So.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to go with Submerged Directive. I like Forgetful Mind, but I think this is going to be more useful.
Last one.
She says. The second you say that, you know you're going to come up in a situation where the exact opposite thing, the other thing would be perfect. You know it.
Oh,
You never
100%.
have the right spells prepared.
Never have the right spells prepared. Never.
No, it's never going to work.
You're like, I can have it tomorrow.
Another one that's always interesting for Protean is Feral Claws, if I'm not mistaken. It's not very impressive, but it does the job.
It does what it says on the tin.
Yeah. You get claws there. That's the power
Nice.
that it's used.
Claws can be useful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And they do aggravated damage, which is interesting. Okay.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully, touch wood, they are in. And
Very well.
no idea how you roll
if
them
you
if you needed
pick-
to roll them, but
Well, some of them have like dice pools attached to them, right? So you have weight with a feather. If you scroll up in chats,
yeah.
there you see dice pools with plus survival.
And then you just roll
Go,
straight on those stats.
Yeah, if you go to the second page of your power, you should be able to see like rouse or die rolls.
Oh, yeah.
And there you can like set that up. To roll, you just need to press like the little image of the power, and then you will roll the dice pools. If you have selected I think rollable or something it's called.
Okay. Dice pool.
So for weight of the feather, it's wits plus survival. It's possible that you need to take another box named called skills or something in order for survival to show up in the
Yes. Yeah, you can do rollable, and yeah, you can set it. Yeah, okay. So you can set wit and survival. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's something.
How are you doing that? I'm so sorry. You
Yeah.
did just say.
So in the second page for your powers, I think it's description and
Okay, I get it. Yeah, and I'm going to want...
like if you don't want to spend time on this now, I can look at it during the week and I can set it for you if you want that.
Yeah, I just want to see if I can get one to
Yeah.
be able to roll, if that makes sense. Yay! Okay, it did roll.
And
Okay.
there it is.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay, so that's plausible. Okie dokie. Right, so we have some skills then, Seb.
Yeah.
Or
So
powers, sorry, we have our powers.
you have your powers. Vex, did you pick everything?
Yeah, so for Dominate, I went with Compel, Mesmerize, and then Submerge Directive. And then Potence, I went Soaring Body, and Oblivion, Shadow Cloak.
Okay. Submerged Directive is like basically you're creating Russian sleeper agents that are like
Oh, damn.
at some point they get a trigger
Your
completely nuts.
core system.
I know.
When she gets the command of Candyman, it's time.
Exactly. That's
Hey, during the
exactly
week,
what's
I have-
happening.
during the week, I've said this for all of you, but I forgot last time, so I thought I'd mention it here. Blood potency under blood. I'll go to the...
I have a dot. Is that a good thing?
Yes, because you start at blood potency 1, everybody.
Aha.
At least everybody here. You can start at higher, but then you need to be of a higher...
age of... version. Okay.
So here you start at 1. What does this mean, basically? So this means is how strong is your blood, and this influences a couple of things. Mainly, you can see this page, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, super. So what does this do? It has like all kinds of things here, and these have to do with your vampiric powers, the things that all vampires have. You have a blood surge. What is that? So, for a rouse check, so you can say, "Oh, I'm not quite strong enough for this situation." You can roll a rouse check and call on your blood, and then you can add 2 extra die to your die pool. And this goes for a whole scene. So let's say, okay, in this scene, I really need to be a little bit stronger, a little bit faster, a little bit smarter. So you can just roll a rouse check, see if you get hungrier, and then you're a little bit better at that one thing. You can only have this active for 1 attribute at a time. It's basically like, okay, I'm a vampire,
Right,
I'm gonna be a little bit strong for a moment.
Gotcha. Yeah. Or I need to be. Yeah. I need to be able to talk my way out of this. Oh yeah. I'll spend it. Yeah. Okay. I see.
You have mending. So when vampires take damage, they don't repair themselves from like normal. Instead, they call on the blood to knit their flesh back together. In this case, you have 1 point of superficial damage that you can mend per rouse check that you make. So let's say you're in combat, you're in hiding, you're very hurt, and you say, "Shit, I need to heal a little bit." You can call on the power of your blood and instantly heal 1 point of superficial damage. At higher blood potencies, these numbers go up. So a very strong vampire can heal multiple points at the same, like in one go. At the same, their blood surge also increases. Power bonus for you guys, it probably won't be applicable, but this means like, okay, your blood's so strong that you just get extra dice on all of the powers that you use. All your vampiric powers. Then rouse reroll. At the moment, it's not really important because this only really comes into play at higher levels. But basically, what that means is every time you need to roll a rouse check for a first level power, you can re-roll that die if it comes up on a failure. So you have like less chance to grow hungrier when you use weak powers. That's basically that. Healing penalty. As your blood becomes stronger, it requires more blood to keep active, meaning you'll slake less blood from mortals, or you won't be able to eat from to like drain animals in order to gain sustenance or similar things. You won't be able to drink from blood bags, and your bane severity will have to do with your vampiric bane, which is tied to your clan. And this usually has like, some kind of ramification. I think, for example, for Bex, if she wants to use technology, she will have to roll at least, I think, 2 successes because her bane severity will be 2. Something like that. But you can read that in the description part of your clan bane.
Oh, I did have a thought. Whenever like she's been on the covers of magazines and stuff, she insists on like having like a portrait like taken. Like you have to draw her or paint her. It's very eccentric. She's a very eccentric company owner.
That's such a somber thing to do. Like in the previous edition, they didn't have reflections at all.
God.
They
Yeah.
they still don't. They also don't have reflections in mirrors here.
Oh. So you don't work in like a glass
big-
high rise.
Yeah, definitely not. Or she
No
does it on the
windows.
top floor. Yeah, like top and has her own elevator. Can't even use an elevator. Her own steps.
Oh, that
Even
is
the
so
elevator may be a
awful.
problem.
She does have an elevator, but it's one like that has like the doors that you pull across. Like,
Oh, you have to, like,
yeah,
you
yeah,
have your own elevator man.
yeah.
Retainer.
Alice, fetch the elevator.
Okay.
Oh, you get Alice to do it.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
she does everything.
Then the next part is we will go into backgrounds, merits, and flaws, and lore sheets if you want them.
Okay.
So this is something you can find on the third page, the features page of your thing. And there you can add things under background, under merits, under flaws. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to select 7 dots, can be spread any way you like, either in backgrounds, in merits, or in lore sheets. And you need to spend 2 dots in flaws, which you can find in merits and flaws. This is gonna take long because this is a lot of reading.
Okay.
So sorry, I just want to write it down. There were 7 dots, and they're
you
spread
will
across.
get to select 7 dots in merits, flaws, backgrounds, or lore sheets.
It's you have 2 dots for flaws and then 7 for merits, backgrounds, and lore.
And if you want to take more dots of merits, backgrounds, or lore sheets, you can always take 1 extra flaw for 1 extra point of merit, up to 3.
Don't. I love a deal. Bloody love a warlock deal. He's talking here.
Can I add these flaws to one that I have for my predator type? Or do I have to select a different flaw?
Let's say, because you have an enemy, right?
Yeah, I have an enemy and their stats increase more the more
I
points
will
I put
allow
in
you.
it.
I will allow you to either make a completely new enemy so that you have multiple,
Okay.
or I will allow you to add it onto the first one. This.
Do I make
however
them
you
really dangerous?
What are you creating, Drew? The enemy that's going to literally be the baseball bat that's going to kill us all.
Maybe.
I mean,
Oh God.
I have this book now, so I guess I can
no.
always
Okay,
try
no,
to
no,
make one
no.
out of here.
No. I retract my statement. I think hunters, please.
Oh, good language one for you, James.
Oh, go on. What have I got?
In the flaws, foreign tongue.
Ah,
That's quite
There's
cool.
a scale. So
Yeah.
1 to 5,
How
1 to
foreign are
4.
you?
how foreign am I? Oh God, he's been
One of
around,
them is
he has been here
recently
a long time.
awakened.
I
The
know,
worst one.
I mean, the way James described it earlier, like he was in the US for a little while.
True. True.
Yeah, fair. Well, a few decades.
Yeah.
was kind of where we were at. So hopefully he's at least intelligible. Oh God, I don't want to be like Yoda Cookie Monster. Can you imagine it? Just
Sorry,
like...
guys. My housemate locked himself out. I'll be 1 sec.
That's
My
okay.
cat immediately freaks out when she hears the door because she's an idiot.
I can only say 3 words in English.
Yeah,
It'd be tough. This will be. It'll get very bad very quick. Right.
What exactly, like, what I will suggest to you is for these dots to mainly look at merits and lore sheets, because backgrounds you can buy with XP, merits and lore sheets you cannot.
Okay.
I mean, unless you want to put it in background. Also, each of you get some free stuff here as well.
Oh, wow.
Yay!
We like free stuff.
But actually, I'll do it now. That way you don't have to edit later. James,
Hello.
you get a free 3-dot retainer
Ah,
named Arnold.
I know this man. Yes. I like him a lot. There we go.
The temptation to take the merit, like, crack driver sounds so good to just do in classic cars.
I should mention, in case people like have nothing to do and are actually watching this on YouTube, a lot of these are also added in from like third-party material found on the Storyteller's Vault, or just found on other places on the internet that I thought, hey, this is cool, let's just take this. So not all of these are from the core book or from the official material. But I've kind of like gone through them and looked at most of the ones that I think were okay and not like ridiculously. Just so everyone knows this is.
There's
like,
homebrew going on, but but it is from sources you've vetted, if that makes sense. That sounds good.
I like the floor creepy. That's good. Creepy. Vivacious. You may be dead, but you sure look lifelike. That's good.
Is Vivacious under Tin Blood Flaws, or am I wrong?
No, it's under looks. There might be another one, but this is just like the looks one.
Or is that might be lifelike, because I know that's also a Tin Blood merit.
I always find this bit the hardest because there's just so many.
It's a lot,
and
isn't it?
so few points.
There is
Yeah.
such a lot going on.
And this is probably like this always takes the longest of anything in character creation. So take your time, no worries.
A
Like,
parrot wimp.
Okay, so a lot of these actually won't apply to us, like the thin blood ones and
Yeah, the Tin Blood
the
ones
cult
don't apply.
ones.
Yeah, those you don't need to look.
Unless we are a member of a cult. Who
Unless
knows?
you want to be a member of a cult, yes.
I mean, I do love a good cult.
I mean, let me quickly. I know of at least. Well, at least 2 of these are in the setting. Not saying which one, but in case you want to be part of a cult, then we can set that up. That's no problem. They're
They're supportive.
on the top of my head. There are already 2 of these in the area.
Ooh, so much stuff.
There's a business owner background one as well for you. And for me, I guess.
Ooh.
Yeah, James, you should already have that because that was part of your
No.
predator type.
Yeah. The business owner bit's done. That's definitely
Now,
true.
as I told you, I changed it a little bit, and now you can spread around your dots between business owner and 2 other ones that you can like kind of divide between.
Very nice.
Because like a 3rd level business is like already quite large, which might not necessarily fit your like aesthetic of like a small antique shop, you know. Like if you read the description of if you read the description of the background.
So sorry, with the floors then. So we've got to take we have to get 2 dots in floors. I'm right with that, aren't I? So
Yes.
So the floor flashbacks that is 2 dots. That would just work out as a thing. So yeah, is it the thing of remembering about being in the coffin, or is it something straight back to World War II? Who knows? Past traumas cause a lot of grief.
I don't think I can edit my sheet because the game is paused.
It might be that you have to unlock your sheet again in the top left.
It is unlocked. Oh, why can't I add anything into merits?
Close your sheet and open it again. Does that work?
To turn it off and on again.
Yeah, if in doubt, yeah.
Add merit. No, I can't add dots to the merit.
Oh, yeah, it's possible that you need to do it through the edit thing here. It might be that's
sorry.
I have encountered this as well. Because you can do it in backgrounds, but you cannot do it in merits and flaws for some reason.
Yeah, there's probably a bug in there they haven't. Or
there might be a reason for it, but I'm not sure.
I need some advice on boons. That sounds like a good one to have. But what's like a minor boon? What's a major boon? What's a trivial boon? There's lots of different kinds of boon, guys.
There's a whole page on boons. Number 11.
Okay.
In the Vampire Basics named Boons.
Got it. Okay. Cool. See how much? I mean, definitely at least one, of course.
Oh, and James, you also have the routine flaw, right?
I do, yes. Yeah, there's a 2-dot routine flaw in there that you've...
Yeah, for like today, this probably won't matter, but maybe start thinking about what your routine would be in your shop. What's your everyday routine that you like have to adhere to? And like if you want to deviate from that, you need to spend willpower.
But before he can go anywhere outside the shop. He will need to do
He's an old man set in his ways.
100% he is set in his own ways, just like the person playing him. So, so there you go. Yeah, so he's definitely got the flashbacks flaw. That definitely sorts that one out. That is done. He's going to have 1 merit, which is going to be Calm Heart. So he doesn't fly off the handle very easily, and doesn't go into a frenzy very often. So that's 3 dots spent. A few more to go.
Calm Heart. Where can I find this? What's this under?
Yeah, sorry. I think now I should be able to.
Let me just
Ah, I can press the button now and it just happens.
Okay, so it's Fury Frenzy, basically, that you...
Yeah, he just gets an extra die to resist going into
because
going crazy.
Because it says, like, oh, you have 1 die to resist Frenzy, but not Rotschrecked or Hunger Frenzy, which are basically 2 of the types of Frenzy.
Ah, okay.
That
So
just leaves Fury Frenzy, basically.
Okay. Seems a lot of dots then. Not as much as I thought.
It is quite a lot of dots for it. But it's...
what was the other one? Unnerving was the other one I was looking at. Where was unnerving?
Yeah, something just isn't right about it.
Yeah, he's just a little off. Then I think I'll go for that and change that to be that one instead. Sounds like that'd be more useful, and it's a bit cheaper as well, which I'm not going to knock.
Yeah, and I think your composure and resolve is quite good already, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Is the answer to that? Composure, yeah, not too bad. It's in the 2 dot, but that is that one. That's done.
I think I've worked out my flaws. Still going on the merits, though. There's so many good things.
Yeah, the merits is tough on that one.
It's a lot. And now...
And we've got lore sheets as well, haven't we? Yeah, there's lore sheets as well.
Yeah, lore sheets you can pick as well. Now, remember, after this, we're going to spend our XP, and then you can pick some of these things up again. Mainly backgrounds. Merits, I don't think you can pick up with XP. And lore sheets you can. Those I need. If you want lore sheets later on, there needs to be some story reason for me to give those to you, and then I might require you to spend XP, but it's not something you can...
Where are the lore sheets hidden away?
Lore sheets have an entirely different category, but in the city thing, there you have some city-specific lore sheets. So city San Francisco.
That's what
you have some city-specific lore sheets in there.
Under traditions or?
No.
Sorry, it's another folder under there. Yeah.
Which is it that we can't buy with XP? Is it merits or backgrounds?
Merit. Backgrounds you can buy with XP.
Okay, so merits.
Because merits are basically something inherent to your vampire. So it could be possible for your vampire to learn new languages and stuff, but that takes a little while. And then let's say, okay, I spent my nose in the books for years, then I might say, okay, I give you a dot in that merit, but it's not something you can just randomly spend a die on, because it's it's about inherent things that are not necessarily easy to take on, if that makes sense.
So much in lore sheets.
Yeah, there's a lot of lore. I've not been around for a while, so I'm not so sure.
You have the San Francisco ones, but you also have general ones, and it's a lot to read through. So, kind of what you want.
They work a little differently when you're buying points, don't they? So you have to, if you want the 2-point power, you have to spend both the 1 and the 2. So it'd be a total of 3, right?
No. If you wanted the 2 power, you can spend 2 points, but you don't get the 1 power. If you want the 1 power and the 2 power, you have to
okay.
spend 3 dots. So you just get like the dot rating and the power. Because with a lot of other things, it's cumulative and it's like a sliding scale. With lore sheets, it's not that way. And you just buy the separate like powers. It's not really powers, but the separate things on your lore sheet separately.
Ooh, hippies. I mean, personally, I love hippies, but the character wouldn't.
Oh, I mentioned it to so I mentioned James's free stuff, but not for the rest of you. Bex, you get a 3-dot Mala in Adrian Hork.
In what?
Adrian Hork. I did send you a message about this, but I'm not sure if you've read it.
Yeah.
This is basically the guy you came over with from London.
Yes.
He's also a refugee, and like he's now on the board in Silicon Valley that controls Silicon Valley, and you kind of have like a weird, like you're supposed to report to him, but
we'll see. Where do I put those? What do I do with that?
That is a background.
Cool. 3 dots.
Yes.
Cool.
And Drew, you also have a Mola for free, and I think you know who it is.
We're collecting NPCs already.
Yeah.
So many NPCs, so many. I already have what, 4 in my background.
This gives me room to play with, and I don't need to come up with names. So.
Yeah, fair.
Everyone.
The floor Methuselah's first. So I can only be fully slaked by the blood of supernatural creatures. Is that on the table or is that off the table?
Let me quickly take a look at what
I don't know. He wants to get into fine dining already. I don't know.
I mean, one of the flaws I was looking at was prey exclusion, just being really picky and not feeding off gross people.
Not just off everybody.
That's a good one to have.
I thought that worked.
That's all alright for me. Like, you can still feed from normal creatures, it just, even killing a human doesn't get you below 100. That's fine for me.
Okay, I will take that floor. So I need 1 more point. Do I just boost my enemy?
Do I just make him like...
Yeah, do I make him even more dangerous?
God.
Yeah, let me give him more dots.
Actually, yeah, screw it. I'm gonna make him more dangerous, so he goes to a dangerous mortal instead of a gifted mortal.
Oof.
That makes sense with who they are, I think. So that goes up to 2.
Can we give yourself an enemy? Crazy fun.
It came with my predator type. Like, I didn't have a choice. I have to have one.
Oh no.
I must.
But it is my choice to make them more dangerous.
But I made them terribly bad. I think I've got my merits in theory. So I've got unnerving, polyglot, so I know a few languages because he's been around a bit, and then I think something about being resisting the hunger thing because he didn't eat for so damn long.
That's fair. I like that one of the law sheets is just Carl.
Carl
Yeah.
is a thing in the real world.
Carl is
Oh.
the thing. It's the
Carl is the
central
name of the
control.
mist.
That's ridiculous.
But in this, he is actually a vampire.
Nice.
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly.
Vampire.
Allegedly, yes.
Talk about vampire mist. I just see Taika Waititi in What We Do in the Shadows being like, oh, this is a playful mist.
Okay, interesting.
So I think I've spent my dots mainly on merits. I hope that's probably not be okay. And then two on flaws, and that should even out, right?
You can spend more if you take on the flaws.
Have all the flaws. All the flaws.
Ooh.
Bargaining. I'm into it. No, I am.
Can take up to 3 flaws to get as many dots in merit. So 2 dots in flaws means 2 dots in merits, 1 extra flaw, 1 extra dot in merits.
Ooh, organvore. You can slake your hunger only by eating human flesh and organs, especially those rich in blood, such as the heart, liver, lungs, placenta.
It's true. You
and
say all the
spleen.
gross things that and you're like, oh, that's disgusting, and then we know it's going to gross you out, and then you're like, why are you being so mean to me? It's like,
The next sentence really
Oh, no.
freaks me out. Most organvore kindred these nights make smoothies from the organs first. I hate it.
there was a serial killer that did that. It might have been Richard Ramirez. Can't remember.
I mean, that would be your area of expertise.
Thank you.
Are you into serial killers?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yes, and it wasn't Richard Ramirez. It was
Do
another
you
guy.
have a favorite one?
Yeah, in the least morbid way possible. Mine is very, very, very old. H.H. Holmes.
Oh, yeah, the murder house.
Yeah. I feel like
That's a good one.
obviously truly, truly, truly horrific, really scary, but my god, impressive, right? He literally made a murder castle. There's going to be a film. Leonardo DiCaprio got the rights for it years ago. The only actor associated with it so far is Keanu Reeves.
Oh, wait.
Devil in the White City, it's going to be called.
Oh, that's a TV series, and Keanu Reeves has just walked out. I read the article.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still excited because it's H.H. Holmes and he's really, really interesting serial killer. But I just really like the effort that he went to be a total ghoul. And I feel like also it's long ago enough for it to not be gross that I'm like, I find him amazing, you know?
Yeah. There is basically a predator type in here that's basically that. It's called the spider, who just imprisons people in the house and feeds on those.
That's
So you can
really horrible.
make a murder house vampire out of that.
Oh wow. That's cool.
Oh, I'm keep changing things all the time, and
I know.
there's so many good choices. I'm like, he never forgets anything. That would be another good one.
That is quite cool. That would be quite cool.
That would tie in with your
Yeah,
horde.
that's what I thought. Oh, I think I might have to, and then.
You
What?
can
That
take
means
extra
more.
flaws to take on extra dots.
Oh, you're so right. You're so right.
It's just keep on. By the way, don't forget.
Is it 1 for 1? So if you take a flaw that is worth 2, you get 2 extra dots?
Yeah. It's
You
one
could be
for
lustful,
one.
James.
Up
Oh,
to a maximum of 3 dots.
Okay.
I think I found one that I can spend a dot on, so I should be all right.
Is there anyone that already has all their dots?
I've chosen the floors, but not merits / background yet. There's too many good ones, and I want them all.
There are
I
so
know.
many good ones.
And it's very overwhelming. I know this. It's not a big deal. Take your time.
My current list now is, I think I've still got unnerving because I think that makes sense. He knows a bunch of languages because that makes sense. He never forgets anything because that makes sense. And he can concentrate on everything. So he's just completely mental.
Okay, so not the
utterly
hunger
mental.
thing.
Yeah, I
You
took
got
the
rid of the hunger.
I got rid of the hunger thing and gave him it. Because I wanted the memory one. So yours. But yeah, that worked. And no, I'm not going to take any more floors, surely. Because that sounds crazy talk.
It feels like a trap. It feels like a trap.
It feels like a 5e trap, yeah. I know what you're doing.
It feels like me taking every single deal that I was possibly offered in Curse of Strahd.
And that went wonderfully for you, didn't it?
Oh,
I
dear.
can't believe I rolled that percentile die.
So she made a bargain with a dark power,
At
unknowingly.
the Amber.
I was already a warlock,
or
by the
was
way.
that before?
This was before. This was long before.
Long before the Amber Temple. Okay.
And it was great. It was like an extra spell slot as a warlock, and you essentially got the scry spell for free that you could cast without spending a spell slot. But every time she used them, I would roll a percentile dice, and every time it started off at 1. The DC was, 1%. But every time it was used, that would go up.
Mm.
And yeah, you rolled that wonderful number right in the middle of the Amber Temple, and then the Dark Power got your soul.
Nice.
Yeah, that was bad. So I started off as a warlock, then I made that deal, and then Strahd made a deal with me at the very end, and I took it as well. I just kept paying. Yeah, never learnt a lesson.
What was Strahd's deal with you? Just
Basically, I take over,
Her patron.
and I let him go.
Let him escape Barovia.
And he bought all my friends back, which I sounded good, but should have read that fine print because they were not alive.
Yeah, never let the ruler of a domain of dread out. Never let a ruler. It's never going to work. Never going to go.
It didn't go well.
Oh,
I was like,
I see the flaws. I see the flaws. Yeah.
I miss her so much.
She's making a comeback in December.
She is. I'm very excited. She deserves to be level 20.
Level 20 as the big bad, or level 20 and doing.
It's my birthday, and we were supposed to, a couple of years ago, COVID. We were supposed to go to a big house and play D&D, and then that got cancelled. So we were going to do Rule of 6 and go to Brighton in the house right next to where a few of the guys live. And then we went on full lockdown, so that got cancelled. So 2 years later, we're having my 30th birthday.
We're celebrating 30, 2 years too late.
Yes. And Drew's done a one shot, and we're going to be level 20, which is great.
Excellent.
I will say that we have played through that one shot, so we have experienced it, but I'm not going to say it because it's going to be a surprise. Your birthday.
Is it the Real Housewives of Castle Ravenloft?
Exactly, that is what.
Oh my god! Yes. So excited. Sounds perfect. Oh, I should get some vampire stuff on that cake too. Okay. I'm going to take the impatient floor as well. So a prey exclusion.
That sounds like it fits.
Yeah.
Okay, so prey exclusion. What's the thing that you're excluding?
Is it sorry?
So prey exclusion means you cannot feed on like a specific group of people, right?
The poor. I think like so she wouldn't no one on the street, no one that felt dirty to her. I think she's horrible. I hate her so much.
There's a great line in the Bloodlines game right at the very start from the guy that takes you in is, have you ever tasted a PhD?
Her answer is yes.
I mean, you are what's that say? You are what you eat.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Diet's very important, guys.
Exactly. Okay, so that's my floors done. Yeah, now I just need all the good stuff.
I take
There's
one
so many
good
good
thing,
stuff.
and that's Bloodhound, just because I thought that
Oh.
was appropriate. That's the
Does it sense your sense?
I can smell the resonance in
Ah.
mortal
That's
blood.
cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look up again what that does exactly, because that's one thing that I can't seem to remember.
Mm.
It's
It gives you extra stuff. I know that. And
yeah. So say if you drink the blood of someone who is incredibly hyper or incredibly energetic, you might get a bonus to celerity powers
Yeah.
or certain rolls for the duration that their blood is in your system. But it can be anything. It's like, were they drunk, like very, very drunk, or were they on certain types of drugs?
And I think you also have certain disgracias that also do other stuff, which are the most concentrated types of resonances, which then turn into disgracious like depressed people or something, or people that are basically constantly drawn to that one emotion. They might have very strong resonances in their blood, which means you can get some other things. I have a page on the thing explaining this, but it's been a while since I've read it myself. And it's the one thing I cannot keep into my mind, so I'm gonna have to make sure to review this a couple of times.
We got time.
It's one of those rules that I think a lot of people take as an optional one, just because it can get quite complicated.
It's a lot to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we do that, I am probably going to ask you to keep track of that to make sure if you can add a die somewhere in one of your rolls.
Oh, is there a quick way to search documents in Google Docs? They must have thought of that, surely.
Yeah.
There's a find in document, isn't it?
Yeah, you can control it.
Control F. Or I'm not sure if you're on. Yeah, no, you're definitely on PC, right, James?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Yeah, Control F.
I will do it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, much better.
I've got so many written down merits. I'm like, maybe this, look closer at this.
Me too. And then I'm looking at the backgrounds as well, and I'm like, this is really good, but I don't put an XP on it.
I know. The backgrounds
open
up
a
a
money
whole
and a
other.
home.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, I probably shouldn't. We do need a haven.
Now, if you want, you can spend your XP or your dots together. Let's say if you want a communal haven, something where you live together, then that's something you can spend dots on as a coterie. So if you want, right after this, we will do coterie creation, and we will determine why you guys are together. And then
I don't think Clarissa will want to live in the kind of place that Cole lives, and Cole would definitely not want to live above the taxidermy place.
That's fair enough. Might not want to be anywhere near the shop. Yeah.
I mean, you can all have separate havens, and then maybe a very weak haven that could be a secondary place where you guys meet, or something that you like some random of late, or you can just have no communal haven and each of you has their own thing. That's all definitely okay.
Can we, at this point, can we buy points in status? So we already have that status in the cam.
Yes, you can buy points in status. The max is 3, and if you like 1 and 2, you can. It's fine. If you want 3 dots in status, then I would like a reason about why you're so highly regarded. The camarilla. Max 3.
I'm going to say mine is a big fat 0. or
You've
low.
been away for a while.
I
so
have been away for a while. Yeah, exactly. It's going to have cause problems. So we have a certain number of points we can spend on this next section, Seb, or where are we?
So
at?
what have you selected already?
Yeah.
You
So
have your 7.
yeah, I
7,
have, but I did it all in merits and bits and bobs. Yeah, it didn't seem like any of the law sheets made perfect sense for them.
The next thing I would like to do is coterie, and then I think we will go to XP afterwards.
Okay, no worries.
You can already have a look at like backgrounds and maybe make a note about that would be something for Ramirez, or that's something like make a note about the things that you might want.
Yeah. I'll start having a look.
So all of those 7 dots, are they from the merits?
They can be spent across merits and backgrounds.
And lore sheets.
And lore sheets.
I think lore sheets is going to be a lost cause for me. Too much going on there.
I know Conrad has picked a few.
But we'll get more to spend on backgrounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your experience points you can spend on backgrounds.
Cool. Okay.
In your case, I'm guessing you probably want resources, money, maybe a haven, maybe business owner, things like that.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Oh, it's so hard. What have you gone for, Drew? Yeah, exactly.
It's so difficult because they're all amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I've picked eidetic memory, but I might actually get rid of it. And spend those points elsewhere. I'm looking at sorry, scrolling up the document. Some of the mythic ones.
They're quite cool.
Yeah, like maybe I was looking at artifact. Like so, in the lore, the Tremere Chantry was destroyed by the Kuei-jin. So I was maybe I would likely have been there at the time, so maybe I saved something from destruction, or I had orders from my Moala to, keep this one thing safe.
Yeah, I can figure out an artifact for you. That's
keep it secret, keep it safe.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully not One Ring level, because that's terrifying.
It's a lot.
Yeah, that might be a little bit like he was carrying it around the whole damn time.
Yep, I'm going to get rid of eidetic memory because that doesn't make sense. Well, in certain instances it makes sense, but maybe that's why he's shit at blood sorcery.
So Seb, sorry, for resources wise, if he was middle class, would that be enough for his shop, or would he need to be 3 dots for the next step up? Do you think?
You can have a shop and like have like no dots in resources if you want. A shop like your cash on hand is represented by your resources, but that does not necessarily mean like you don't have anything, because you have like your shop. It's just not in a way that you can like easily access money if you don't have
Yeah,
resources.
I'm with you. Considering half his stuff is stolen, I think he may not have a lot left.
I mean, it's cash on hand, right? So you can have 1 dot, 2 dots. You don't necessarily need to be rich to have a shop.
Yeah.
The absolute level of concentration here, guys.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. We'll cut the video down to make it make it work.
I mean, you can do that. Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, okay, so definitely going to go for the artifact one. I have in my possession an ancient magical thing that has mysterious powers.
Okay. I will
Ooh.
figure out what that is if you're okay with that.
Yeah, of course. This is definitely not a common merit, so do not expect to be allowed to have it without asking the storyteller's permission first.
You have my
The
permission.
storyteller will-
I don't have like
storyteller.
a list of artifacts ready, so I kind of need to go looking or.
So you've made a terribly horrible person that's going to come and attack us, and you've made some sort of artifact nuke that's gonna that causes grief as well. I see. I'm liking it already.
Now officially has a doomsday weapon.
Oh, God.
Ooh, could it be a redwood stake?
That's not really an artifact.
Oh.
I think what I'm thinking about is a little bit more high powered than just a redwood stake.
That's not disturbing at all. We'll look back at this and think, that was the moment.
Okay, so I have 4 more points to spend. Jeez.
4 more points. I am so not like I've got them written down,
No, I have 3 more points. Sorry,
but I've
I
got
did
like
take 4
7
down.
written down.
So many choices.
Cat has not left this box all day. She sleeps in this little box while I work, and she has just stayed there the entire day. She's been there for 12 hours. Should you be moving?
Okay, I have one that might work. I'm gonna continue looking for others.
I found one nuke, and now I'm looking for another.
Oh, God.
Yeah, what awful Cthulhu horror are we going to have to deal with?
Yeah. He's already got an enemy, and now he's bringing a weapon.
Always bringing in a nuke to a knife.
So I think I'm going to spend some of these on my haven. What was the house rule on haven merits?
So when you, I'll have to review it myself, because this is one thing that always trips me up as well, because haven merits are weird. What do I have? Yeah, okay. So if you have at least 1 dot of Haven, you have 1 free dot of Haven merits. And you get 3 Haven merits equals to half your resources.
Okay.
So you get, if you have even 1 dot in Haven merits, you get 1 free. If you have, and then additionally you also have like half your dots in resources. Let's say.
Is that half rounded up or half rounded down?
Rounded down.
Oh, damn, okay. So I need at least 2 dots in resources to get another one. Okay. I will do that, but I'm gonna have to take another floor.
Nice.
You can also spend your experience points on it later.
I know, but I already have ideas of what I might spend XP on.
Oh, that's terrifying.
I'm coming right back after.
No worries.
That's okay. We are still reading.
Yeah. I want everything on a background sheet, so that's going to be tricky.
Yeah, I've seen things on the background sheet that I'm like, I've already said I have this, so
Yeah, yeah.
I have to spend money on it now.
Yeah, you're talking to me. You're joking.
Okay, 1, 2. So that's 4. That's 7. That's
What's
8.
what?
Okay.
What on your thing? So you've only got 1 over.
Yeah, so I have to take another floor, but I may have to take like a
big one.
A big one to get a few extra points.
He wants it all.
I know, I do. They're all too good.
I'm sure we can switch these around and stuff, right? If we.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I think so.
I'm sure it'd be one of those things. If it was totally off, and we had to figure it out later.
Yeah.
Do I take one of the folkloric banes?
Oh my god. You're gonna
Will
smack
Holy
these through us.
Perhaps I need to be invited into the home.
Oh, that's quite cool.
Does garlic make me? Do I just not like garlic?
I just not like garlic.
Man
That's not a bad
hates
flaw.
That's the thing. That's a flaw.
What?
Folkloric block. When faced with a folkloric block, you must shrink away from it or spend a willpower point to push through it. Garlic.
Yeah.
He can't go anywhere near Italians or Italian food.
Most of it,
Perfect.
to be honest.
Mm. I will pick Haven merits later because that's
no
a
worries.
whole other list to go through.
Yeah, I mean,
and they're all good
you know,
options.
we don't have to like commit to everything right now. Like things like that can totally be kept for next session. But I would like to get like a general idea. I would like to get to spend your XP at a certain point.
Yes.
I would like to get you your merits set up. So at least like your vampire itself is like, say, if you don't necessarily need to come up with like your whole extended like network of allies and contacts and stuff that can be kept for a later time. That's not necessarily what we're here for, but
So for my additional flaw, I've taken compulsion. I think he's going to have a little bit of OCD. Things need to be neat and tidy.
okay.
I'm gonna definitely take the minor boon. Seems like that could be useful.
Okay. Who do you want this minor boon to be for?
Not thought that through. I haven't thought that through.
Might I recommend Sebastian Melmoth?
I have no idea who that is, but Drew knows
Oscar
it's shit.
Wilde. Tis Oscar Wilde himself.
I mean, it does sound like it'd be very useful to have a boon from Oscar.
Hell yeah, leader of Keeper of Elysium.
Former. At the moment, he's without a job, but he
Oh shit! Is his club still around though?
His club, the Vampire Club, used to be held on the yacht of the prince. The yacht of the prince now belongs to Karsh and sees very little use. But he is planning on opening one somewhere in the city in the near future.
A club literally called the Vampire Club.
Yeah, a new club called the same as the old club.
I have not decided on the name yet, but the previous one was the Vampire Club, like his Elysium.
The old club's actually a good idea for a name. Is he the leader of the old guard? That coterie?
The coterie, like the old guard, isn't necessarily like a coterie in itself. It's more like a loose gathering of individuals, of people that have like some sort of social standing within the city, and probably like some in like the others should probably also be in the old guard. Like Li Shui Chen should probably be in there. Booker should definitely be in there as well. It's more like a loose gathering of like socially relevant kindred that like have some sort of status or some sort of like social importance within the city. They all know each other, they all hang out, but it's not like they're like a tightly knit coterie.
I'm taking Crack Driver because I think it's fun. I love the idea that she's obsessed with like classic cars.
I can't run them.
Because she can run classic cars, just can't run anything new.
Yes.
Nothing with electronics.
None of that fancy parking.
Like transmission, fancy
bullshit.
parking or transmission. Yeah.
I just love the idea of trying to do like impressive shit in like James Bond stuff in like a classic car.
Like an old hand crank car.
Yeah.
Like even trying to reverse that is.
We're talking full chitty chitty bang bang. Like... So I've only spent 3.
I mean, she is British. I can totally see her driving like an Aston Martin, like old school.
Yeah, right.
First, yeah.
Love that.
Oh god, that's gonna be tragic when the Second Inquisition blow it up. Oh.
It's going to be such a sad moment.
Yeah, watching the car go up and down.
Okay. I think I'm going to go on to backgrounds now.
Okay, so Drew, are you?
I think I'm done. So I've put 2 dots in Haven. And 2 dots in resources.
Okay.
1 dot in Bloodhound, and then there's the 3 in Artifact. For my flaws, I've added an extra to my enemy just to make them a little bit more terrifying. I've gone for Methuselah's Thirst, so only supernatural creatures can get me to the 0, and I've taken a Compulsion. So yeah, he just, things need to be at right angles, they need to be clean and tidy, and just, a little bit of OCD.
Okay. I already have like a good idea about what your artifact might be, but I will need a little bit to...
That is fine.
To write a little bit of text around it. So, you will get that from me before the next session. And I think that leaves Bex.
So many choices.
the rest of you can already like maybe start to think about how you guys got together.
When did you guys turn up to pick this guy up?
Yeah.
It's going to be the thing.
Actually,
He's been nailed.
I kind of have an idea about why you guys met James's character. But
I was maybe thinking, so obviously the La Sombra and Zamitzi are very new to the cam. I was kind of put there to keep an eye on you.
That makes sense. Yeah, he
or
would
just to,
not
like,
know what's going on,
test the
and
water
yeah, he'd
a
be
little
like, who people that were enemies are now new cohorts, and he would be feeling way out of place. Would definitely be be a thing. He's probably been filled in, but he's it's not how he remembers it.
I am totally okay with you being basically the babysitter.
Because Harsh is open to the idea, but is still a little wary, as he probably has the most experience from fighting the Sabbat.
Yeah. I'm totally okay with that. Now, James, your vampire has been in San Francisco for a little while before he got staked in the 90s, I think you said?
He got staked in the 90s, so he was out.
And I think he was turned in the 40s or 50s.
Correct, yeah, so he was around for a fair while.
So he was around for about 30 years, as was Cole. Did you guys know each other beforehand?
At this time, I mean, there's a Zamitzi with us about.
Yeah, and he was probably the only Zamitzi that you met that was not part of the Sabbat.
Okay.
Like, whether you were close, like, you didn't have to be, but it's like something to think about.
No, you knew of him.
Yeah. I mean, he was a hound in the former camerilla regimes, so it's kind of his job to know who everyone is and at least have a little bit of dirt on them. So yeah, he would definitely be aware of you, and
I mean,
keeping quite a close eye on your shop as well.
Yeah, and I think probably what you found over time is he kept to doing his things, and as long as he was doing his thing for getting his collection and doing what he was doing with all of that, he was happy to let the world go by around the outside, if that makes sense of it. He wasn't overly a player in any other way, if that makes sense, or too dramatic, if that makes sense. So yeah, of the people that could be from that kind of group, he did his thing, kept it fairly quiet and clean, but obviously you knew he had he was collecting his certain pieces of art and his eccentricness on all of that, but he very rarely changed his routine as we're learning from his flaws. He went around and did his thing in certain ways until one point he just literally disappeared and he was gone until people figured out later he was locked into a
one day to the next he was gone.
Yes, and then silence for many years, and then he is awakened.
Oh, how early in the 90s were you staked?
Well, we said early 90s is where we put it, but we didn't know exactly when.
What he knows is he was staked by an anarch who was in the city, while the Kuei Jin were basically rising up or gaining power in the city.
Yeah, I think Cole would have definitely been a part of that exchange with the Kuei Jin and the Anarchs during the 90s, so...
I was definitely not a fan.
No.
Like,
rightly
he
so.
Kinda,
terrifying.
Like Ramirez might have disappeared, and like everyone kind of assumed, like, oh, the Kuei Jin got him.
Mm.
Instead, they locked me in a box.
Well, it wasn't an Kuei Jin, it was an anarch. That was...
Yeah.
But...
They still sided with them. How dare they?
Not the biggest fan of the Anarchs.
No.
I'll take the cam over that.
Maybe there was an instance early on when you first came to San Francisco that you maybe accidentally fed in the wrong territory and Cole had to come along and say nope.
Fair enough. Yeah, then eventually the routine that it was just people that were visiting his shop ended up being the part of the feeding group in the end, and it sort of evened out that way. That became his little territory area that he did. He hasn't done that in a long time.
But is it an antique store or is it just purely taxidermy?
No, it's antiques. It is antiques. It does have the bent of it being, slightly more on that side, and especially if you go into some of the back rooms of the place, it gets more and more, more and more disturbing as you go on that front. Is probably the best way of putting it.
It becomes like a curiosity cabinet.
Yeah, definitely a bit more like that than Ripley's Believe It or Not, odd horror sections at the back. But yeah, no, it's generally probably more antiques, and especially as Arnold's been looking after it for so long. Yeah, it's not really. It's the front is got left.
It might have lost some of its shine. Since,
it's lost some of its charm in my mind.
It
definitely.
now looks like a McDonald's. It's Starbucks. I wanted to try it.
No, I just think it's like kind of more dilapidated than it used to be.
100%.
Like the paint, like on the shop outside, is like chipped off and like.
Yeah, and to Drew's character's detriment, not one right angle within the entire place of the.
Okay, I'm taking 2 in resources and 2 in either status or influence. I think influence.
Yeah. So
and then
influence, like you might have to like select a certain like branch, or a certain type of industry or a certain group of people you have influence with.
Okay, that's fine.
But you can think on this a little bit later. You don't necessarily need to detail that here.
Cool.
And status, you can get status within the camarilla or status within your clan. That's also like an option.
Or be powerful in the.
Maybe status
where's
is
the
a
power
better
gonna
idea.
be? Yeah, where's the power going to be?
Or James, like you. I'm gonna say you cannot take status. Within your
No,
clan,
definitely not.
Like
he is definitely not going to be that guy. Yeah, of his
like,
thing. 100%. Yeah. I'm fully sold on that. Don't worry. Not a problem. Not a problem.
If you want, you can take status in the camp, but not in your clan.
No.
The main part of your clan is not part of the camp.
No, absolutely not. And I've not been around for years, so there's no way he's got any status in the camp. So, no, he's definitely low.
Okay, then have we picked?
Yes, I've taken 2 in status, 2 in resources.
Okay.
Excellent.
So, then next we will determine how you guys got together. What's your coterie? What's the purpose of it? I think we already said, Drew is the babysitter for these like fairly new licks, fairly new kindreds to keep.
You're keeping us all in order, Drew. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just keeping an eye on you. You're still Sabat clans.
Yeah, you're at Samis, and like nobody really knows how to
what to deal with me.
What to think of the La Sombra. The idea I had for our playtime today, after this, was maybe we kind of play out a little bit about how you guys reconnected. We can play this as like prequel, being years in the past, like whenever Karsh took over, or we can do this basically in current day, depending on what you guys like. Like, I guess a lot of it depends on when James woke up.
Absolutely.
When
But
he
I am
woke
open
up.
to either way if on that front when we can make it work. If he is,
And
he knows
how long
nothing.
have I been over here as well? Because obviously I've been in London for a while.
I'm gonna say London fell in 2012. So
Spoilers.
it'd be around that time or right before that time.
Right before, okay. I like the idea of right before and then her having to be like, oh no.
Oh, you could be really annoyed at having to miss this amazing party in the Shard, but your flight was that day, and then you get
Forever
to
bitter.
San
That
Fran
missed.
and you hear the news.
Yeah. That's true. That's actually a really good idea. I love that.
So, James, you probably woke up later. I think Karsh was already in power at that point.
Makes sense.
Maybe like he took over the city in 2017, 2018. So it might be around that time. Or we could go like, oh, you wake up tonight. It's 2022, and here you are.
Wow. Well, fair enough.
Do you have an idea of how you woke up?
No, I don't know how do you recover from. So would I have been staked and then shoved in a coffin, or would I have just been stuck?
Someone has to pull the stake out.
Oh
You
man!
would not have been staked. It's just damage.
Ah, so he was in a really bad state and then shoved in a box.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe Clarissa wanted the real estate.
Oh.
I was thinking, like, could I have gone
Yeah.
wanting something from
okay.
you?
We do like a little tour of your shop, find the coffin, open it up, and be like, that's where you've been for the last 3 decades.
But yeah, when you can sense the part of the back room that others cannot, if that makes sense, for some reason.
I do have a little scenario idea that I might want to play out after this, if that's okay.
Okay.
But in
So
that
it's
case,
sounding like I
I'm-
might be pretty not fresh. I won't go quite that far as.
In that case, I'm kind of deciding how it goes, but if that's okay with you guys, or if you
I'm not
guys
against.
wanna
I'm not
decide.
against it. That he's just woken up. Yeah, it may be more problematic for you, but he is calm and calculating, so he won't. He would be one. He would be one to try and find out what was going on before he acted, at least. And I suppose if he has met Drew's character before, it's at least at least it's a face he wouldn't be like someone's come back to finish the job.
Depends if you're frenzying or not when you wake up. Because you haven't fed for what?
A
20 years.
very long time.
Well, we'll see when you're in the scenario. I have an idea.
Please don't kill us all.
Yeah.
Make it a little mystery.
I couldn't say boo to a goose. So this character's not got the strength for that. So,
So
when you're frenzying.
So what we say 2018, and then the next time we play, we just pick it up like in current day San Francisco, like years later, and then this is like kind of the parts like where you met.
Okay, so yeah, there's been a couple of years go by after this. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
That sounds good. So we're going with the I wanted something.
Maybe
wanted my
petition for the
shop.
territory with a cam, and the cam have been like, this hasn't been used in a very long time. Go for it.
I'm gonna be pissed when I can't have it. Ah,
we will see.
cool.
Okay.
What are you doing? You are not normally like this.
You will pay attention to me.
As soon as there's a camera on cats, they go crazy.
Yeah, they know they're on display.
Back online.
She's been in a box all day. She needs to.
She has woken up now. She has fully woken up.
Mhm.
Thank God.
Okay, the next part is the Sea of Time. So you guys get to spend your experience points. Drew asked me something before, and I would like to know you guys' opinion. Normally, you guys are neonates, so you will start with 30 XP to spend. According to the table, that's on the drive. I can post the link in the
chat.
In the chat. Share. Copy link. I will put it in the camerilla channel.
Excellent.
There. That's the prices you get to spend. So normally you have 30 XP. Now, Drew is a little bit older than you guys. With you guys' permission, he maybe wanted to play Ancilla, which means he gets more XP to spend. But this is more XP for your group as well.
Mm-hmm.
You might be able to put it into communal things as well. So that's kind of up to you guys to decide. Are you okay with this, or would you like to be everything be equal?
No, I'm happy with that. Yeah, the man that knows a bit more about the game, have a bit more. I'm absolutely fine with that.
Yeah, if anything, it means we can be like, well, he does have more experience.
Spend it right, it would be that. Yes.
Yeah.
In that case, Drew, you can have 50 more. You can have 50 experience points instead of 30.
I will think of something communal that we can spend that experience on.
Well, I don't have to spend all of it on communal, but
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. Think about that.
Now, the scenario that we're gonna play out after this would be you guys wouldn't be a coterie yet, so you wouldn't have a communal thing at that point, so you cannot yet call on those. But we will, during the normal game, you will be able to.
No worries.
Since we're flashing forward 4 years into the future. At that point, you guys could have established some kind of communal thing.
So sorry, looking at this experience costs then, Seb, what so sorry, if I wanted to increase an attribute, what are we saying? I would have to spend for each new level, I would have to spend 5 XP.
Let's say you want to increase a dot level from 2 dots to 3 dots.
So you timesing the two. Yeah.
That means 15 XP. So
Gotcha.
Third dots times 5. Same with skills, except it's times 3 for skills and all that.
So 3. So for a background, it would be 3 XP per dot. Okay. I'm starting to understand. Yeah, I see where we're going.
But background is 3 XP per dot. Background is just for background, it doesn't matter how many dots you already have. So your first dot is costs just as much as your last dot in backgrounds.
Got it. Yeah. So the most expensive thing on this list is blood potency, which is for a per new level times 10. Okay. Is it because it's considered an incredibly extra thing? Is it, or what's
it boosts quite a considerable amount of what you can do.
Yeah, I changed the background again. So it was what I was explaining earlier. Sometimes your blood surge goes up, and you can actually boost your own skills with more dice, or you can mend more damage at the same time.
Sorry, when I change the dots, I can see what it does, what it's adding. Okay.
Yeah, it does a lot. You also, I think there's also a table on the drive. I think it's called the blood potency table.
Gotcha.
It's that's the way it works.
So to go from 1 dot to 2 dots, it would only be 10 XP to do it, if that makes sense. I am reading that right.
No, because it would be your second dot, so it would be 20.
It'd be 20. Okay, so yeah, you are paying a hefty amount.
Yeah, it costs a lot, but it
does a lot.
It does a lot. Yeah, it's not super impressive, but it does a lot of little things in the background.
Okay.
Power bonus. Add 1 die. Ooh.
And backgrounds are also a good way to spend this, of course. Disciplines are usually a good way to spend it as well. Get more powers, get those things. Attributes are quite expensive, but they
do a lot
can
again.
come into play quite a lot. It really depends. Also, Drew, how much humanity do you have?
7 at the moment. I was going to say I should probably reduce that to 6, shouldn't I?
Yeah, that was what
Yeah.
I was going to propose. Yeah.
Let me count. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
That's like kind of the trade-off I'm gonna give you for paying for having like extra XP.
Yeah.
Again, this would be like a good time to break once we have everything.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, we'll grab another coffee and move things along as well. That sounds good.
This is a lot more choosing of things and not having enough to spend it on.
Never enough.
And you have like 20 more XP, Drew.
You know, I'm saving a lot for like group thing. I think I'm probably going to spend some in a group haven that we have in whatever territory we look after, and just deck it out with a load of merits.
Well, you don't necessarily have to like look after a specific territory, right? Because like seeing like you guys' like origins. Actually, let me take you guys to the map.
Oh yeah, let's have a look at the map.
I don't have a token.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Let
me fix that. I can do this.
Yeah, do it, Zeb. You can figure it. Yes,
there.
Well done.
Nice.
Now.
He's got it figured out.
So I did some Google searches for antique stores, and most of them are located like around here, Fillmore Street.
Nice.
So it should be around here, near Cow Hollow, maybe a little bit higher, like where Pacific Heights is there. So that would be
very high crime around there, though.
Mm.
I know through like a lot of your like background NPCs.
A lot of my NPCs are from Tenderloin, yeah.
Tenderloin?
Oh,
which is one of the highest crime areas in the city.
Yeah. A lot of drugs. Of course, San Francisco is also a city that's very heavily like gentrified. So while it's not necessarily like gangs or anything, but it's like maybe a lot of like drug dealers and stuff like that, but not necessarily organized in like big gangs or anything, if that makes sense. Because San Francisco, I think it is either the most expensive city to live or like second or third.
It's up there. It's got to be, isn't it?
So it's.
If Bex was looking for where to purchase my shop, then maybe there was other bits of her empire around in the nearby. I don't.
I'm gonna say that's not yet the case. She hasn't been around too long. But we'll get to that.
She was working on purchases.
Yeah,
early days.
And let's say Bex like I'm not sure what kind of a shop you're envisioning for like your marketing firm. But like if you're like thinking of like high-rise buildings, like a lot of those are like located like here at the Embarcadero South Beach, like this area, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. So yeah.
When I was thinking about this the other day, I was literally going on Google Maps and being like, "Oh, this is a lovely place for a haven. I'd live here."
This would be the one.
Like no joke. Like today, I was like a lot of street view things, and I was like, oh, this is quite lovely actually.
Yeah, I was looking at like Montgomery Street and things like that. Like, it's like,
a lot of
I could have a view of Alcatraz in the background, Golden Gate Bridge. Yeah,
Sure.
lovely.
Like a lot of these like townhouses, like in like the richer neighborhoods, like around like Richmond here, and like Pacific Heights, Richmond Heights, or whatever that's Presidio Heights. Like those are like really damn nice.
Like that. Yeah, we're all up there. It's cute. Oh god, I forgot I was putting experience points into things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
But like I'm just meaning to say like it's not necessarily that you like watch over one territory. You might not have like one domain.
Okay.
The way that like it's kind of structured is basically everything that's not like given as a domain to somebody is basically part of the rack. So everywhere where it's not like specifically owned, you're free to feed. So it's not like there's like one specific area of the city that's like designated as that's the prime place to feed. Because
we would have
sites, so there's a lot of unclaimed territory around.
But we would have knowledge of who has claimed certain bits as their territory, right?
For the most part, yeah.
Obviously, there's the traditions, and we have to ask permission or make ourselves known and all that stuff. All the camarilla fun.
Something you taught your character may have taught me at one point, Drew, as when he had to learn his place. Yes, yeah. And promptly disappeared for a long period of time.
And we can get more into detail. We can always ask like, oh, is this area owned by someone? And then I'll need to tell you. But like for example, the La Sombra in the setting, I give what's his name? Andrew Emery or something. Like he claims domain over like what's it? San Francisco University or something like that, or College of San Francisco. I'm blanking on the exact name, but like that's located here, kinda. And that's where he claims the domain. Dogpatch is kind of the domain of Booker, the bodyguard of one of the previous princes. Never quite like sheriff or anything, but like similar in skill sets.
Gotcha. All the bits that will be Bex's domain when we've got this all figured out in San Francisco. So we see what we're working towards.
Chinatown is Lichway's territory, stuff like that. There are things around. And then Karsh also claims like a certain part of the game.
I think I'm going to take influence, some points of influence, and I think I'm going to go with media. Ironically. I mean, it's marketing. That's her thing. PR, baby.
Yeah. I mean, controlling the media is a way to like keep the masquerade, of course, because you can
that's what I'm thinking.
Control the flow.
Report certain mysterious disappearances like that.
I feel like she can make herself invaluable with that as well. She'd like that.
Oh man, what else to spend your money on? Your XP on? Skills.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a look at that in a minute. $15 left.
Oh dear.
Is that coming through?
Better than she normally sounds. So she sounds odd. Her meow is strange.
Yeah, she doesn't quite have a meow. It's more of like
The scream of a demon.
yeah.
That's pretty much what it sounds like. You're not a normal cat. It's because you're a demon trapped in the body of a cat. Hello. Maybe I now want a new discipline and up for my little disciplines. So much to consider.
Yes, too many bits.
If you want to take like a discipline outside of your clan disciplines, then they cost a little bit more, but you can still take them.
Oh, interesting.
That's the difference between in-clan disciplines and out-of-clan disciplines.
So background things we add in the features section, don't we? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Under background.
Yeah. Just knowing where everything is on the sheet. Half the battle.
Regarding things like equipment, it's not usually a thing in Vampire. Like, certain weapons have modifiers and stuff, but overall, like, you're assumed to have access to things that your character would have access to, if that makes sense. So, let's say, you want to go somewhere. Like, if Bex's character is really rich, she might have a yacht, and that's completely fine. You don't need to, like, put any extra things in there, or... I mean, that's a thing that's possible. Or... like, you could have a gun somewhere if you're a shop owner, because it's a way to protect your shop. You know, during
In a high crime
America.
area.
and it's America, so
Yeah, fair.
America.
Yeah, true. America.
yeah, I'm not sure gun laws in San Francisco. I kind of have to look that up.
Yeah, I can't imagine that they block it. It's not like
I don't
anywhere
know, it's
really
California, right?
Yeah,
So
it could be the most stringent on it, that you may have to give them 2 days notice before you get a gun, rather than one.
Oh no, super strict. It's like a whole 48 hours
before you can have a gun.
Yeah.
You cannot even buy a rocket launcher here. It's
Yes.
it's
How ridiculous.
This is the woke elite.
But if you have like criminal contacts or something, like you probably anything the army could get you could acquire in some way. But I'm not like gonna be very stringent. Like this, it's not a game about bookkeeping, so it's fine.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like unless it's like
But it becomes a thing.
specific, unless it's like ultra specific thing like rounds that explode or what's called is it Rufus rounds that like incinerates when they hit someone, because
There's the
vampires are vulnerable to fire.
Dragon something rounds.
Dragon threats
thing?
round or
Yeah.
shotguns, stuff like that. Like that might be like you might have to take an extra step if you want to procure these.
Fair enough.
Because if they are not illegal in California, which I think they are, they have like a ton of like forest fires there, so anything that can like cause a fire is probably illegal. But yeah, if you want to procure those, you might have to like take an extra step, approach a criminal to acquire it for you or something. Or get some army contacts, or I mean, there are ways to get around that. Okay, so how far along are you guys?
Yeah, a few
half.
XP left to go. Yeah, a couple XP. to go.
Yeah.
I have
half.
25 left.
We're all at half. Come on.
I've already spent the ones for Haven, so we will have a group Haven somewhere.
Yay.
Excellent.
And I think I've been having a look over the merits, and I think it's going to be like warded against supernatural creatures. It's going to have a library and all this kind of jazz.
Wonderful.
A little pantry away from them.
Yeah. Where everything is perfectly neat and tidy, and if anyone makes a mess.
Yes, he
I'll
learned that
show you
quickly.
this.
I don't know how Ramirez is going to deal with that. I'm not sure that he's that kind of guy.
It does have too many right angles, I must
Now,
admit.
I will say you do not have to stay here. Like, you can have a haven on your own that's separate from this. In case you don't want to stay here all the time.
It depends how far it's from my shop.
Well, we're all pretty like close together, aren't we? Really, so hopefully it'll be all right.
It's all to do with my where I have to sleep, where my stuff is.
Yeah.
I guess it kind of depends on where you live, because like this is like a kind of nice neighborhood, but like here's like her business probably would be on the other side of the city, so it'll be up to you about where.
Maybe I can get to it through my shop from the tunnels underneath somewhere.
Under Cow Hollow, not really. There are a lot of underground tunnels actually under Chinatown, I have discovered.
I found the cutest Nostravatu haven on Montgomery Street. It's the street. So the hill going down this kind
Take a
of
screenshot
area.
somewhere.
There's like loads of little alleyways that go in between all the gardens of the houses that go down to the beachfront. But one has like a bridge going over it. But there's clearly someone who lives in like an apartment building next to that bridge, because the main front door and the post box is where this bridge is. I have to find it again. I'll screenshot it.
And you send a screenshot because I'm not gonna find this on Google Maps.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
So
looking for it.
cute. I found it completely by accident as well, but I'll take a screenshot. It was adorable. I was like, I'd live here. I'd live under a bridge with no windows.
Chinatown apparently has like a lot of like disused underground tunnels leading to what used to be like opium dens and stuff.
Ugh, full of Quasian.
Did you clean them out?
Oh, and you know, like Chinatown is claimed by like the kindreds of Asian origin who helped the camarilla get rid of the Quasian.
Oh, so we have Quasian allies.
Yeah, they used to be part of the anarchs that supported the Quasian, and they betrayed them.
Oh, interesting. That's very un-Quasian-like.
She is not Quasian herself. She's just an anarch. Yeah.
Okay.
She's a token.
I was going to say that the Quasian themselves utterly detest us.
I'm sure the
But
feeling is
They
mutual.
used to be an anarch supporting the New Promise Mandarinates. And now she's part of the camarilla, and everyone has to put up with it. Like, that's something that's not really clear from her bio, but I have to tap that because when I conceived of her, it was not this, but... If you guys want to chip in for something communal, if you don't know what to do with like your last few points or something, that's also an option.
I was thinking of putting in 6 XP into Haven stuff to add to our little pot, whatever there's going on there. So yes, I was going to go down that route.
I think you can put it into like Haven or Haven merits.
Sorry, whatever works to add to
Haven
our.
determines the size, and Haven merits determines what can be like in them.
Yeah, I'll add 6 XP to that pot.
Okay, I'm keeping a tally of how much is saved for Haven stuff.
I think I might be able to do that as well. Just I'm just totting up some last little bits.
Okay, 6.
Yeah, seeing as you two are the only chance I have of ever figuring out what the hell is going on.
I mean, going from the 90s to the late 2020s.
Yeah, exactly. He has been real quiet, trying to get his head around how different it is.
What is this iPhone?
This technology stuff really, really annoys me still. Why is it not the size of a brick? I do not understand.
Is it made of eyes? Why can I not fleshcraft this?
Is it made of eyes? God.
It would be better if it was made of eyes.
This could be improved with more eyes.
Many things are improved with more eyes.
You've made
my own worst nightmares. I just had an image of like this flesh brick with eyes and just a mouthpiece.
Oh no!
Oh, I hate it. Oh.
He watches the door. He watches the door, Cole. It's what we needed. We needed someone to keep an eye on things.
Insane. I'm just trying to work out my bloody 3 times table now.
That's what Google is for.
This is what Google is. I think I'm close enough is going to be the answer for now. And if I can always dump more or less into Haven to pass off the last bits.
Yeah.
I spent 10 XP on adding an extra dot to composure. I've added extra XP to make crafting better. And I've got 1 dot in. Put in some XP into resources just so there's a bit of that. And then the rest will be on Haven stuff in theory. So.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Would it be okay if I use some of my experience instead of the 7 dots we had and put a couple dots in some other stuff that I was from merits?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
okay,
I have
cool.
no problem with that. Yeah.
Cool.
You can mix and match, as long as the end total works out. I'm completely fine.
Yeah, that's why I had to get the calculator. Okay, Okay, in that case, I'm taking beautiful as a merit because I feel like that would be fun. Add an extra die to all appropriate social dice pools.
Like, some people just give it blankets to, like, all social dice pools. I'm not necessarily gonna do that, because not everyone will be interested in how you look. But
That's fair. That's fair.
yeah. Because otherwise, it's a very powerful merit, which it is.
Yeah.
Definitely, but...
Oh yeah, Drew, what were the Anarchs playing? What were they doing? What were they sounding like?
They sounded like
They
utter
sound like
chaos,
they're... Yeah, they sound like they're a lot more chaos than we are.
It's
Which makes
funny.
sense, Anarchs.
It's so I don't know how to say it. Like they are the chaotic group. We are the calm and planning things through and organized.
So it's worked out pretty well then. That's exactly that works out fine.
I quite like how like half of them is like, oh, I kind of don't like the establishment and everything has to go down. And then there's one guy that's like, I want to see the werewolves.
I just want to see the werewolves.
Which will never end well.
Oh god.
Oh dear.
Please don't throw them at us, Seb. That's
The pure
just
chaos
the
of it.
You don't know.
But they are a very diverse party as well.
Oh, yeah.
Figuring out how they're all tied together is going to be interesting.
Yeah,
Very difficult.
It's gonna be a challenge. I still have no idea on how I'm gonna do it. But I'll figure
love
something
You got a
out.
week to figure that out, yes.
I loved Joe's character journey as well.
But he started from low ideas or not a lot, and then it
All
came
of
to
the
pimp.
ideas.
Yeah, all the ideas. Oh right.
I need to watch it. It's just a really bad week for my computer to die.
It's good. It's really good. I thoroughly love what they've come up with. It'll be interesting to see them play.
It's good.
What do I want to spend? Oh, I'm so indecisive. And this
How
is
much have you got left? 25.
Yeah, 500.
25.
Oof.
Oh
So
god.
I've already put aside Haven stuff,
Right.
and then I've got how much Haven XP did you put in back?
I think I
If
got
any.
6.
Yeah, same. I managed to put 6 in as well.
That's a decent amount. If
Go
it's
for the
way
blood-
too much,
go
I'll
for the
find
blood,
something.
Go for the blood
I was-
potency, Drew. Go on. Just go big.
Did you guys want to take 3 each back so we have a total of 6? Just because
Okay.
I think that
Can do.
that amount we'd have like a mansion and a penthouse with everything.
Yeah,
I'll settle for a labyrinth under the sea. It's fine. We'll be like Lex Luthor. It's like, you know how much people are paying for land above ground? We're getting so much more down here. Okay, so 3 XP back, 3 XP on something.
I might take concentration as a merit and switch some stuff around again.
Yeah, I might get rid of one of my merits as well.
Well, I'm going to take a merit and get rid of... Yeah, but I'm switching stuff around, basically. So it would be typically actions taken in especially chaotic situations made at higher difficulty or result in dice penalties, but I would be able to stay focused and ignore distractions that would be obstacles for others.
That is a good one.
Yeah, things like that. It's like, you do not suffer penalties when performing actions under stressful or distracting situations, e.g. loud noises, strobe lights, or hanging upside down. The obvious distractions.
The ones you get all the
Hanging
time.
upside down.
I mean, to be fair, those would be pretty distracting.
Yeah, it would be. That's fair.
Oh, I had another very awkward moment at work the other day. They were talking about like vegan cakes and not putting in egg. And I was like, did you know you can bake cakes with blood? because the protein is pretty much the same as an egg white.
Mm-hmm,
And I
mm-hmm.
just got the looks of like, how the fuck do you know that?
Yeah.
That's what we're having for my birthday.
I'm guessing.
Unsurprising.
I'm guessing it's the albumin, right? The
I have no idea.
serum albumin.
Don't know what's disturbing. You knowing the fact, or Seb knowing why.
Like-minded.
I'm a biochemist.
There you go.
Proteins is basically my thing.
So Seb has the perfect excuse, whereas
Yeah.
I do not.
And I have
Yeah.
worked with blood before, so this is something I know something about.
Incredible.
Yeah, if you're ever out of eggs,
Mm.
I don't think it's like because it does have that protein in, but I think in like egg whites, like it's much more concentrated. Because
yeah, so you need
like,
a lot of it.
Yeah, because the egg is like meant to be like something to to provide sustenance, to provide protein. For like the growing.
Well, yeah, it's got to grow. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, blood doesn't necessarily serve that purpose. I mean, it does for vampires. But... Okay, have you guys chosen?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm happy enough. Yeah, I've added resources in instead.
Feel free to move on. I will be indecisive forever.
Okay.